So one option is tanggalin lahat ng unprogrammed, and pag nagkapera ang gobyerno, will pass a supplemental budget. That's inconvenient for the executive, but that's convenient. But it's more transparent for everyone. Okay. The other one is that the Department of Finance or the DBCC simply say that magkano ba talaga dyan ang plano nila i-raise? Kasi am I wrong, Mr. President, that they can borrow money for this?
Yes, Mr. President, loan, the foreign assisted project.
So that's where the misunderstanding comes. Yung sagip at yung lump sum, klaro yung intention doon. If you think of regularity, the intention of lump sums kasi is flexibility during the year. So pag hindi ko nilagyan ng Malaysia, it's for flexibility. Nilagyan mo ng Malaysia, yun nga, kasi nga parang pork barrel para pag may gusto kang i-release. Okay. Having said that, if the DBCC says we will fund it, hindi na siya unprogram. So ang point ko, Mr. President, is that let me ask another question. During the time of President Fidel V. Ramos, nung nagkaroon ng konting crunch because of the Asian crisis, di ba? Di ba mandatory 10% ata savings sa lahat ng agencies,
I think we called it austerity measures.
Yes.
Yeah.
So meaning, for example, no, if 10% ng 6.7 billion is trillion is 600 billion, which is much bigger than the unprogrammed. So meaning the DBM or the Office of the President can always say, oy, lahat ng agencies, don't spend 3 to 5% of your budget, lalabas itong lahat. So isn't it just better practice that when I say tanggalin ang unprogrammed, dalawang tanggalin, meaning minus 170 billion to 170 ngayon sa budget, or let's simply not call it unprogrammed fund. Kasi ang DBM naman magde-decide kung anong una nilang popondohan eh. So parang hindi ko mag-get yung point ngayon without yung kasing lump sum, nakukuha ko yung point eh. So let's say lump sum infrastructure. Popondohan muna nila lahat ng na-approve sa program. Kasi tingin nila, mas importante yon. Ngayon, pag sumobra pera, saka namin popondohan to. Pero katulad ng AFP modernization, are we saying it's second priority? I don't think any one of us is saying that, no?
No. Actually, in the committee report, Mr. President, or in this proposed version, itong second reading version natin, AFP modernization, tinaasan ho natin by about 20 billion. But ang ask ng agency is about 90 billion because mayowa yung kanilang mga expenses. So, since limited po yung fiscal space, linagay na lang natin sa unprogrammed yung 30 billion. But dahil wala nang sagip, so mapopondohan na ngayon itong modernization.
Let me phrase it another way. Since 2022, how much of the unprogrammed fund have been funded? Senator Joel, you said kanina, no, na ang pinakamaliit, magkano? 100 plus billion? 3 years lang naman eh, 23, 24, 25.
On the average po, ang mga release nito about 200 million a year. Pero like for example, mga ganun po.
And this year, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, magkano ang propose natin na unprogrammed sa Senate version?
For 2026?
Yes.
It's about 174.
So kung sure din naman na marirelease 200 billion every year, wag na natin tawagin unprogrammed. Total, ano naman eh, ang DBM naman magde-decide kung, so, halimbawa, sabihin natin, whether it's 90 billion or 120 billion yung AFP, hindi ba yung it's between the AFP na at DBM kung anong unang popondohan?
Yeah. May mga years din po na mababa rin. Like for example po in 2020, 23 billion, 2021 54 billion, 2022 67 billion. So may mga years rin na mababa siya.
Yeah. I'll not belabor the point because I want to vote yes for this budget. But that's one of the constraints in voting for yes, na yung unprogrammed kasi parang DAP din eh. Basta't nag-introduce tayo ng bagong term, hazy yung rules eh. Even with a
special provision.
Remember, this is an appropriation bill so the president can veto line by line, no? And just like yung DAP, by the time the Supreme Court rules on it, it's for future guidance na lang eh, di ba? So if someone brings a case about the unprogrammed, of course, the government will defend it. Pero if we're going towards transparency, so babalik ako, di ba, na kung nag-agree tayo na dapat mag-decentralize, nag-agree tayo hindi panay Metro Manila, nag-agree tayo panay dapat train over highways and cars, the budget should reflect that But it's not reflecting that, no? So I leave the unprogrammed. You want to state for the record
well, Mr. President, that's why I share the same feeling, Mr. President, with the minority leader and with the Deputy Minority Leader, Senator Joel. Kaya ho, nung during the Blue Ribbon hearing, lumabas nga ho doon na itong sagip, especially the sagip line item, nagagamit ho to sa mga flood control at other infrastructure project. At iba-iba pang mga projects, tinanggal na ho natin yan at linagay na sa program. Ang iniwan na lang yung foreign assisted project dahil yung mga foreign assisted projects ho, paglabas na ng 2026, dito lang ho magkakaroon ng pondo. No? So that's why traditionally, even in the past, linalagay po yung foreign assisted project po talaga sa program because lumalabas siya during the year.
But the problem, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, is I'm not an accountant by profession. I'm not a numbers person, no? But I have been in this chamber and in the House of Representatives long enough to know that there are systems. For example, augmentation, di ba? Pag infrastructure program, you're allowed to augment 25 ba? Or 25 and 25 ulit? Ano ba yung present rule ngayon?
Augmentation? Ceiling.
So, we don't have to say the exact amount, but I'll give you an example, no?
Yeah.
So, kung may unprogrammed tayo, 170 billion, magkasobrang pera, and then meron, let's say, flood control na 1 billion, without anyone knowing it, of course, it's in the reports, pero napakaraming report ngayon, ang hirap bantayan lahat. Pwede ka maglagay ng 250 million na may alam lang yung agency at saka DBM. Diba? So that's what I meant, that part of transparency is simplifying our process. Naintindihan ko naman yung intent ng augmentation, ha? Kasi kung halimbawa, whatever reason, diba, nagkabagyo doon, nasira yung port, so ngayon may double handling or whatever, yung materials tumaas. So 5% na lang tapos na yung project, hihintayin mo pa ba yung next budget cycle bago mo tapusin? So hindi masama per se yung augmentation. But I'm saying if you have a combination of loans that we will find out. Remember my point about the loans, no? When we borrow money, Congress doesn't know until the year after or until we start paying for it. So we're talking about a 6.7 trillion budget, di ba? Now, but in reality, I don't know how much we're borrowing next year. In reality, it could be 20 billion, it could be 300 billion, it could be 500 billion. So in reality, the interplay of all of these funds juggling from one to ang hirap bantayan.
Yes, tama ho kayo.
And let me just put this on the record because I feel strongly about this. Nung araw kasi may referee. Halimbawa, investigative journalism, o kaya yung sa media, iimbitahin yung expert. Ngayon, it's more of doubling down on what you assert, whether tama at hindi. And maraming influencers are disguised as political analyst or nasa media. Hindi ko nilalahat, ha. Siyempre, yung ating main traditional radio, whether it's Bombo, RMN, DZRH, di ba? Our main stations, GMA7, etc. I'm not talking about per se our traditional media. I'm talking about yung atmosphere natin ngayon, di ba? So, ang daling baliin ang truth at ang daling tanggalin yung transparency kung complicated yung systems natin. Di ba? So, if there's only one way na lalabas yung pondo, program, that's, pero may program, tapos merong augmentation, tapos meron din basta sa executive department, di ba? The Constitution allows the president to move around some funds.
Around savings.
Yes, arouse and savings, moving target din yung definition. Kasi the DBM can actually say, hindi na maganda tong project na to, walag ng tuloy, magiging savings na iyon, di ba? Of course, binabantayan ko rin yung announcement ni Secretary Vince na mataas ang DUPA. So bababa dapat ang presyo ng lahat ng infra. So if we keep it that way, he'll have a lot of savings. Kung masyado naman mababa, problema din kasi walang magagawang project ang ating bansa. So I think I'm emphasizing kung gaano ka precarious ang situation natin.
Correct.
We want transparency, we want to take out graft and corruption, but we also want to perform. Kasi kung tanggalin mo lahat ng graft and corruption, wala namang magawang project, that's a form of graft for me. Natanggal mo yung corruption pero may graft. So the perfect mix is tama ang presyo, transparent, pero nagawa yung project. Di ba? And parati ko yung example dyan, yung favorite ni Senator Bam, classrooms. Di ba? Kasi kung tama yung presyo, pero walang nagawa, ang estudyante siksikan for the next 1-2 years. Di ba? Pagka namang super overpriced, yung sanang ginawa mong 2 building, 1 building lang nagawa. So, we want to find the perfect mix na walang corruption, pero nagawa. Di ba? Pero pag sinobrahan mo yung bawas sa pondo, walang magagawa kasi walang contractor na nakukuha. Di ba? Pag kinorap mo naman, it's not only a corruption problem, it's a nasisira yung social contract between the government and people want to rebel, di ba? And then sa ibang bansa were depicted as we can explain all we want that ine-expose nga, inaayos nga yung corruption, di ba? Pero yung news sa abroad, hindi natin kontrolado yon, di ba? And of course, there's competition. Dito lang sa Southeast Asia, we're all competing for foreign investments from Japan, from China, from Europe, from the US, di ba? So, in boardrooms all over, nagbubulong, huwag kayo pupunta sa Pilipinas kasi dito ka pumunta sa bansa namin. That's normal. Di ba? We because we're made in the image of the US, we have always whispered, if you want a democratic setup, same sa US, transparent, come to the Philippines. No? Which brings my point to Singapore, no? When Singapore was in very much a precarious situation, problema kasi multi-ethnic, multi-religious, problema nila sa Malaysia, walang natural resources. They turn to tourism. But I can't figure out why it's so clear to us that for every 2 tourists to 3 tourists, 1 Filipino job. And we all agree, whether you go to Baguio sa traditional kabayuhan, whether you Wright Park, whether you go to yung mga inayos na ngayon sa Baguio, whether you go to Siargao, of course the favorites, Boracay, Palawan, but anywhere you go, no? My sister in younger days loved mountain climbing, and the more walang walang kuryente, di ba, the more that it's pure nature,
more rustic,
mas maganda. And may ganun market din sa backpackers, di ba? But of course, yung Southeast Asia ngayon, more Chinese market na high-end shopping din, no? But if you compare kasi, ang layo talaga eh. Yung Thailand, 40 million na yung tourist, may get tayo 7. But ang budget ng ating Department of Tourism is only 4.1 billion. So, I'm not proposing any amendments now. Maybe something for us to think about pagdating sa BICAM. But parang it doesn't make sense to me na whether it's traditional tourism, agri-tourism, sports tourism, ecotourism. Senator Legarda has always espoused, di ba, yung ecological balance, pero pwede naman ang ecotourism. Pero kung ganito budget ng DOT, no, I'm hoping to pa rin ni Secretary Vince Dizon yung sinabi niyang ang uunahin niya sa budget ng DPWH yung magko-connect sa airports, land ports, seaports, and tourism areas. But we know hindi ganun ang dynamic sa ating bansa. It's very hard to tell everyone, sandali this 1 year, eto muna. Kasi everyone has their pet projects. And hindi ko minamaliit yung may sports complex. Kasi sabihin mo sa bata, wag mag-drugs, wala naman sports complex, di ba? Or sa mga magsasaka, na halos hindi mag-exist, di ba? Whether it's solar dryers or whatever, mahirap ganun. But without prioritizing and with a budget of only 4.1 billion, I really don't see, and then with our present stance, which is going towards the US, mas malayo sa ating kasi ang Europe. So Thailand sila. Ang Indian, napakarami din pera, pero they're further than us. So with the present atmosphere with the Chinese, ang pag-asa natin na lumaki yung ating tourism is the Japanese, Koreans,
North Asia.
Southeast Asia. Yes,
Hong
and then hopefully you have
North
6
Asia.
million PhilAms eh. You have 10 million OFWs abroad. Umuwi lang ng once a year yon, magsama lang ng isang boss nila. That's another 10 million tourists, ha? Pero paano magagawa yon kung ang budget ng tourism ay budget ng isang congressional district?
Actually, I share the same sentiment, Mr. President, na low-hanging fruit ho talaga ang tourism. At kahit na may challenges ho tayo sa Chinese market, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung pagpunta ng Japanese market, ng Korean market. One untapped market nakikita ko is Australia dahil medyo malapit-lapit sa atin, no? Malapit-lapit at high income. So, yun po yung mga markets na pwede nating matap outside of China, Mr. President.
May I know whether we are restoring all of the funds for PhilHealth and magkano yon? Because I know for a fact that Senator Pia 2000 between 2005 2006 yung earmarking.
Yes.
And since then binantayan yon. So I'm aware of the 60 billion that everyone says is sole. But I think if you do all the computations ng mga earmarking, much more than that ang dapat ibigay
Correct.
ng gobyerno sa PhilHealth. May I know what's the amount na dapat ibigay sa PhilHealth and how much we are giving to PhilHealth?
If I'm not mistaken, natatandaan ko sa presentation ni Senator P is about 200 billion? 296, no? 296 billion. Correct. Ito yung mga kasi ang nangyayari, may earmarking pero hindi naman nabibigay yung buong amount. So I think from the presentation, I remember from 2022, 2023, nag-compound na siya to 296 billion. So for this year, naglagay ang sa National Expenditure Program ng 60 billion at ang 53 at inaugment ho yan ng 60 billion.
Yeah. So sa 290, how much are we actually giving in 2026? The 290 includes the 60 or
yes, kailangan na po. But yan din po ang concern ni Senator Rizon Tiveros, of course Senator Pia and Senator Lauren during the plenary debates. At sabi ko dapat mapag-usapan natin to in the next few years kung paano magkaroon tayo ng some form of yearly allocation para mapuno natin yung gaps and also yung mga hindi na-remit in the past. No?
So 3 points I want to make.
Can I just give the right
please,
figures,
please,
to be clear?
Senator Pia Cayetano, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to be clear, yung 60 billion na binalik ng House and which our chairman is retaining, yun yung tinanggal nung 2024. Okay? So binabalik yan ngayon. Pero yung kailangan bayaran in 2026 is 69.78 at ang nasa NEP lang is 53. So kulang ng 16 billion. Yun yung hinihingi ko kay chairman na sana at least for 2026, pakita natin na na-earmark na to, ibigay itong buong 69. Tapos we go backwards pa, na-earmark na ibang amount. But I'll just focus on that 69 total, which is short of 16 billion for 2026. Thank you.
Okay. So